Hello everyone. Now we have to discuss a very important concept, that is dynamically induced EMF. So last class we had discussion that Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. In that we have discussed that we have two types of EMFs. Those are dynamically induced EMF and statically induced EMF. So today we are going to discuss in detail what is dynamically induced EMF. So today we are going to discuss the magnitude of dynamically induced EMF and the in detail analysis. So before that, what is dynamically induced EMF? Whenever if there is a relative space variation, if it is space variation, that is dynamically induced EMF. If it is time variation, that is statically induced EMF between magnetic field and set of conductors obviously an EMF will be induced. That EMF is called as dynamically induced EMF. So we all know that for dynamically induced EMF, magnetic field is steady magnetic field, and what about conductors? Is rotating one. So this is the basic scenario of dynamically induced EMF. Whenever there is a relative space variation, then only we have dynamically induced EMF, right? So in order to explain that, I have a theory. So for that, first I would like to get a steady magnetic field. This is steady magnetic field. Let us say this is magnetic flux density. Clear? And we have a conductor. We have a conductor like this. So the placement of conductor is like this, right? And so finally this is, let us say, this is theta, right? This is B bar, and the length of the conductor is, let us say, this is length of the conductor, right? BL, and this is the velocity of the conductor rotated with omega radians per second, right? And this theta is present between the magnetic field and area perpendicular to the vector. This vector is perpendicular to the area of this conductor. So this theta is present between magnetic field and the vector which is perpendicular to the area of the conductor. So we all know that. So this is, let us say, let us have, this is a singleton, let us say n turns. Okay, n turns. This is the placement of conductor. Okay, now we all know that what is the flux? Magnetic flux, which is equals to V dot A, which is equals to, whenever there is a dot, we all know that cos theta, right? So flux which is equals to BA cos omega t, since theta which is equals to omega t. So this is the magnetic flux formula, BA cos omega t. So in order to get the EMF, we all know that induced EMF, or you can say dynamically induced EMF, which is equals to, or you can say ED, dynamically induced EMF, equals to minus n d phi by dt, which is nothing but, you can clearly write minus d by dt of n phi, right? The rate of change of flux linkages, rate of change of flux linkages is nothing but dynamically induced EMF or statically. This is the formula, this is the magnitude of dynamically induced EMF. ED is equals to minus d by dt of n phi. We have n number of turns, like that we have a magnetic field. So n phi, this is nothing but flux linkage, rate of change of flux linkage. This n phi is nothing but flux linkage or flux linkages. So simply, which is equals to ED, which is equals to minus n d by dt. N is constant, right? After manufacturing, the number of turns are constant. So phi is nothing but what? BA cos omega t. So B is constant, we have steady magnetic field, and area is constant. So minus NBA d by dt of cos omega t. So from this, ED, which is equals to minus NBA, which is nothing but minus omega sin omega t. So finally we have what? ED, which is equals to what? NBA omega sin omega t. So dynamically induced EMF, which is equals to NBA omega sin theta. We can say, let us say ED, which is equals to E sin theta, right? Let us say this is E max, since E max, which is equals to NBA omega. Why it is maximum? When theta, which is equals to 90 degrees, when theta is equals to 90 degrees, ED is, which is equals to E max, right? This is the magnitude of dynamically induced EMF. This is the magnetic flux, this is magnitude of dynamically induced EMF. Okay, let us say this is method 1. The heading is with respect to flux linkages. With respect to flux linkages, right? So this is the derivation of dynamically or magnitude of dynamically induced EMF with respect to flux linkages. Okay, so we all know that phi, which is equals to BA cos theta, like that dynamically induced EMF, which is equals to EM sin theta, where EM, which is equals to what? BAN omega, right? This is 1, this is 2. So from this, when theta which is equals to 0, what about flux? Flux which is equals to BA, which is equals to phi max. This is the maximum flux, right? Like that, what about dynamically induced EMF? When theta is equals to 0, ED, which is equals to EM into 0, which is equals to 0 volts. Like that, this is 1, this is 2. When theta is equals to 90 degrees, let us say when theta which is equals to 90 degrees, what about phi, which is equals to BA into 0, which is equals to 0. What about dynamically induced EMF, which is equals to E max, right? Which is equals to E max. So when theta is equals to 0, we have maximum flux. At that instant we have 0 EMF, but when theta which is equals to 90 degrees, we have 0 flux, but we have maximum EMF. So how it is possible? The question is, when flux is maximum, we have 0 EMF, but when flux is 0, we have maximum EMF. How it is possible? So I would like to explain this theory in this diagram. So we all know that this theta is nothing but what? Which is present between the magnetic field and the area the vector which is perpendicular to the area. So the vector which is perpendicular to the area of the conductor is nothing but this is the vector which is perpendicular to the area of this conductor, right? So in this case, theta which is equals to 0, right? Between magnetic field and this area, what is the angle? 0. Like that. So when theta is equals to 0, we have maximum flux. Let us say this is the maximum flux. Let us say this is max, phi max. At this instant, what about EMF? EMF is 0. So this is 0, right? This is 0. Let us say EMF should be considered. So red color marker is the representation of magnetic flux. Like that, this blue color marker is representation of EMF. So at this instant, when theta is equal to 0, we have maximum flux. This is the position, we have 0 EMF, right? So but coming to this placement of conductor orientation, see, after 90 degrees rotation, let us say this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. So after 90 degrees orientation, now it is what? B, this is, sorry, yeah, this is B, this is A, this is D, this is C, right? Now here theta is what? 90 degrees. How it could be possible? This is B bar. Now this is the vector which is perpendicular to the area of this conductor. Now it is theta which is equals to 90 degrees. In this case, this is B, this is A, this is what? Theta, which is equals to 180 degrees. Like that, this is B bar. Now it is what? This is the angle theta, which is equals to 270 degrees, right? Now this is the case, B and A, theta which is equals to what? 0 degrees. So this case and this case both are equal. So at this, when theta is equals to 0, based upon this 2e equation, you have to tell when theta is equals to 0, we have maximum flux, right? This is the point. When theta is equals to 90 degrees, we have 0 flux. This is the position. When theta is equals to 180 degrees, we have, this is what? Minus 5 max, right? When theta is equals to 180, we have minus 5 max. When theta is equals to 270 degrees, it is 0. When theta is equals to 360 degrees, it is maximum. So if you draw a graph, so this is the graph, right? So for different instants, we have drawn, this is what? Minus 5 max, clear. So when theta is equals to 0, the flux graph is completed. When theta is equals to 0, what is EMF? Which is equals to 0. When theta is equals to 90 degrees, we have maximum EMF. When theta is equals to 180, we have 0 EMF. When theta is equals to 270, what we have to do? Again, we have maximum in reverse direction. Like that, we have 0. See, then we have to draw the graph. So this is the graph for EMF. Like that, this red color marker is the graph for flux. See, when the flux is at maximum position, the EMF induced is 0. Like that, when the flux is at this position, when the flux is at 0 position, we have maximum EMF. So like that, when theta is equals to 180, we have 0 EMF, but we have maximum flux in reverse direction. So the basic reason behind this is nothing but concept of Lenz's law. What is Lenz's law? Effect oppose the cause. Here the Faraday's didn't bother about the magnitude or height of this flux. He should care of the direction which is opposite the changes in flux. So he didn't bother about the height of the quantity, means he didn't bother about the magnitude, whether it is flux or EMF. He should take care of the direction of whether it is flux or EMF, which is explained by Lenz's law. See, what is Lenz's law? Effect oppose the cause, right? Here the effect is what? Induced EMF, cause is what? Flux, right? So obviously this effect, this EMF opposes the changes in flux, right? So when this flux is at maximum position, this is from maximum to, from 0 to 90, this is from maximum to minimum. So here the flux is decreases from maximum to minimum. So what is Lenz's law? Effect oppose the cause. Here what is the effect? EMF. So this EMF should oppose the changes in flux. So what is the strength of the flux? It is decreases from maximum to minimum. So obviously in order to oppose the change, this effect or this EMF should increase. So that's why it should be increases from 0 to maximum, right? So the flux is decreased from maximum to minimum. So like that, in order to oppose this cause, the effect should increase. So that's why the EMF should be increased from 0 to maximum, from 0 to 90 degrees. Like that, from 90 to 180 degrees, the EMF. See, what about the flux? this is increases in reverse direction, right? So 0 to negative peak, like that. In order to oppose this cause from here to here, the EMF should decreases from maximum to minimum. Simply, if the flux is decreases, this EMF increases. If the flux is increases, this EMF decreases. Means effect oppose the cause, means it has to changes the flux direction. So Faraday didn't bother about the magnitude. He didn't bother about the magnitude. He should concentrate on the direction of EMF, which is opposes the changes in flux. That is the concept of Lenz's law. I will explain the concept of Lenz's law in detail. So this is the reason when the theta is equals to 0, we have maximum flux, but EMF is 0. So the reason behind this is nothing but Lenz's law. Because of the concept of Lenz's law, we have this concept. So in order to oppose the changes in flux, we have this EMF. From 0 to 90, flux is decreases, EMF increases. Lenz's law satisfied. From 90 to 180, flux is increase in reverse direction. So in order to oppose the changes in flux, we have to decrease the EMF. Like that, from 180 to 270, flux is decreases in reverse direction. Like that, EMF increases in reverse direction. This is the about the concept of Lenz's law. Lenz's law. So this is the magnitude of induced EMF by using flux linkages concept. Now I would like to explain this magnitude of dynamically induced EMF with respect to flux cutting rule. The method 2, whatever the method, you have to understand the concept, right? Whether it is flux cutting rule or flux linkage rule. Flux cutting rule. So what is the difference between flux linkage and flux cutting? Flux linkage is nothing but when the conductor is stationary, magnetic field is time varying in nature. But what about flux cutting? When the conductor is rotating and the field is stationary. That is the basic difference. But to understand this concept, this is study magnetic field, right? And we have a placement of conductor. Let us choose the placement of conductor. This is the conductor, right? And what about the conductor length from here to here? This is the length of the conductor, and this is what? Magnetic flux density, and this is what? Velocity of conductor. This is the vector velocity of conductor, and this is what? Theta, right? So we all know that when the conductor is rotating, we have steady magnetic field. Obviously we have dynamically induced EMF. So what about this region? Can we have dynamically induced EMF in this position? 0, because there is no flux cutting possible. In this also we don't have any dynamically induced EMF, but in this region we have ED, we have dynamically induced EMF. We have dynamically induced EMF, right? The conductor is rotating, so we have steady magnetic field. Obviously we have dynamically induced EMF. So here the points. We all know that flux cutting is required for dynamically induced. To be frankly speaking, this is appropriate method to explain the concept of dynamically induced EMF. So flux cutting is nothing but what? Conductor is rotating and the magnetic field is steady. Then only we have the concept of flux cutting. Whenever we have this analysis, we have flux cutting. Whenever we have this analysis, this is the appropriate method to describe the concept of dynamically induced EMF. So when we have that flux linkage concept, when the conductor is steady and the magnetic field is time varying in nature, that is the concept of flux linkage. Okay, so magnitude of dynamically induced EMF can be explained by flux cutting rule, right? Here theta is nothing but what? Angle between orientation of flux and orientation of movement of conductor, right? Now we have the magnitude. How can we calculate the magnitude? So in order to calculate the magnitude, is equals to ED, which is equals to BLV sin theta. This is the actual magnitude of dynamically induced EMF. So how can we get that? Let us say this is the conductor and the current is leaving. So this is the velocity of conductor and this is the dynamically induced EMF and this is magnetic flux density. So in order to know the direction of dynamically induced EMF, we can use Fleming's right hand rule. What Fleming's right hand rule describes? So we have thumb, middle finger and forefinger. These three fingers should keep exactly 90 degrees with each other. So what thumb represents? Thumb represents the velocity of conductor. Thumb represents the velocity of conductor and this middle finger represents what? Current direction. Current direction, which is nothing but direction of dynamically induced EMF. What this forefinger represents? This is nothing but magnetic flux density. So this is what forefinger, this is what middle finger, this is what thumb. So these three fingers are kept exactly 90 degrees with each other. So between V and ED we have 90 degrees, between this V and B we have 90 degrees, like that between B and ED we have 90 degrees. So what is this law? That is Fleming's right hand rule. Thumb, middle finger, forefinger. Thumb represents velocity, middle finger represents current direction, forefinger represents the magnetic flux density. So if it is Fleming's right hand, what is the magnitude ED, which is equals to, we can say, velocity of the conductor, which is cross multiplied with magnetic flux density into length of the conductor. So whenever we have cross product, obviously we have what? Sign, right? Whenever we have cross product we have sign, whenever we have dot product we have cos. So BLV sin theta, BLV sin theta. Like that, when we have Fleming's left hand rule, Fleming's left, then what about the magnitude? Simply this is changes B cross V into L, that's it. At any case, ED which is equals to sin theta. So this is the magnitude of dynamically induced EMF by using flux cutting rule. So ED equals to BLV sin theta. So we all know that ED which is equals to BLV sin theta, right? So when the conductor moved perpendicular to the magnetic field, what will happen? Then the maximum flux cutting takes place. Then there will be maximum dynamically induced EMF. That is when conductor moved perpendicular to magnetic field, what will happen then? Maximum flux cutting takes place. Right? Then there will be maximum dynamically induced EMF. So when the conductor is perpendicular to the magnetic field, is nothing but theta is equal to what? Theta which is equal to 90 degrees. So what about ED which is equal to, when sin theta is sin 90, which is nothing but E max, which is equal to what? BLV, right? Like that, when conductor moved in parallel to magnetic field, in this case theta which is equals to, which is parallel to magnetic field, there is no inclination, obviously ED equals to 0, sorry, theta is equals to 0, obviously ED which is equals to 0, sin 0 equals to total EMF should be equals to 0. So this is one scenario when it is perpendicular, this is when it is parallel to magnetic field. So this is one scenario, this is another scenario. So this is the concept of dynamically induced EMF with respect to flux cutting rule as well as flux linkage concept. But coming to flux cutting rule is very appropriate compared to flux linkage. Flux linkage is deals with steady conductor and time varying magnetic field, but coming to flux cutting rule, which is deals with rotating conductor and steady magnetic field. That is the basic difference between flux linkage and flux cutting. So next class we will discuss the concept of statically induced EMF and the types of statically induced EMF. Thank you.